101, and we are here for our workshop on the solid waste budget for 23-24, and I'll turn it over to the clerk to start us off.
Okay. So I have not had a chance to meet with Shelby and Richard on this, just talked to them, but so on our revenue side, we well, on the revenue side, we had scheduled based on what you guys sent me for revenue. Now, I did get these sheets from them. We should have gotten it when they.
Yep.
If we didn't get them, I didn't get them. I went back through my book, so. Okay, so on the revenue side, we had, $61.60 is for ground rent. That's number C. We have. I don't have them. I don't know why that didn't print out there. But I'll figure that out. Which is all a copy of it. We have wood and yard waste, wood hauled to Government Gulch. They were 12,600. Metal revenues at 20,000. Data revenues at 900. Scaled garbage at 291,600. And commercial quarterly billing at $349.57 for a total anticipated revenue of $684,317 excluding property tax. Last year we were at $576,730 for the same amount. So we are up, planning to up in anyway.
Does that mean there's more garbage?
There's always more commercial. More commercial coming across.
More commercial garbage.
Yeah, and more people. We have a lot of people who come from Montana now over like the Salt Pee, St. Regis area. They bring their garbage to us because it's closer for them.
You guys should have gotten these when you got their budget too. Before.
Yep.
That's basically where I get the revenue unless I see something different that maybe was left off of that list, which I did not. Sure. So.
And the metal can vary too.
Right.
Because we still haven't seen a check from McGilder yet. Okay. For the revenue of the metal.
Because you guys don't always do that at the same time every year. It's not monthly or anything. It's just like here's.
It's just whenever
it's when they do it.
Whatever.
Yeah,
right.
It's their discretion essentially.
Right. Okay, so I didn't have any changes on the revenue side at all. So, on the budget worksheet side, I do have questions. So I have another report here for you. Well, this is similar to the one I talked about with the sheriff. I did not update the sheriff one this year, so if you want it updated, I can certainly update it. But so on the salary side of it, so the ones that I received from solid waste, you guys, when you got your budget originally also, because I did not print this out, was I got these two. You guys should have gotten these with your budget as well, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and Matt, you should have too. You've gotten these when you got your original budget. When you asked for the stuff back in May. So this one is what they went off as current rate today. And this is what they went with the 5%, right? Okay, so the problem I have is this was never approved. This is not what the people are making today. So all of the employee pay items don't match up with my budget. Unless there's something I don't know. Right now, I can't use these because we didn't have that, and we have to start with the 5%. And then anything above that has to be approved through the budget process over 5%.
Okay,
That's where I built my budget from, okay? So that everybody knows where we're at on that. So on your spreadsheet that I gave you, that talks about wages, what you will see is under, the current hourly wage, that is truly what they're making today. Okay. Then you go to 5%, that's what they would make with the 5%.
The 287. I'm sorry, I'm on the,
We're
I was
looking at,
looking-
yeah, this,
Oh, I'm looking
this
at the wrong
one.
one too.
Okay, this one here, okay? So, because I'm trying to get us to where that line is on the
Okay.
budget, okay? So we start with the current actual salary. We add 5% to it, and that's what their current salary would be. So if we just take Richard, because he's all by himself on the budget side. Right?
No, Richard and I should be on one line, and then the,
Supervisor and billing clerk are two separate things.
oh, okay.
So supervisor, if currently is at 49,040. Okay. And it's a little bit different on 49,026. That's probably just rounding or something. And then, they requested 55,938 for him, which is the requested salary way at the end of my spreadsheet. And if it was with just 5%, it would be the 5% salary at 51,477. So if you follow that all the way down, that's about $4,000 difference. You would use the one that wasn't approved to the one that is current with 5% would be the 51,477. So if you follow it all the way down, long story short, and you did it for all employees, it would be 24,652 for everything I'm sorry, 408, 138 for everybody as compared to what was requested for 70. We got a $79,000 difference for wages and benefits between the two. Okay. Because I didn't know what you guys have already talked about.
Right. Well, we've been talking about bringing them up with the road department. But that's something we would do during the budget process, right?
And that's right now. And I haven't had any conversations with anybody about it. So right now, between the two, we're looking at basically $80,000
difference.
difference of what 55% would have been and what you're looking at for road equalization or whatever you want to call
So
it.
408 is where they would be at the 5%. 470 is where they would be if we implement the same pay scale as the road.
Is that 470 with the 5%?
Yeah.
Without the 5%?
When you guys figure
The
it out.
total.
Oh, Rick, sorry.
So
Is it
you'll
with-
see what the actuals are. So let's say, like everybody else, it's 5%. And over on the the third from the left, it says the actual percent of increase from where they are today in our payroll system to where you want to put them in this new matrix. That tells you what the percentage of difference is. So some people are getting 12% increase, Richard, and other people are getting 20%. That's individually.
By adopting the pay scale of the county road.
The new pay scale, not the last year's one, because the last year's one was never done, so that really, you kind of gotta just throw that one out and start with a new one.
Okay, so I see a difference of 62
With benefits at $79,109.
with
62,
benefits,
382 wages, 16,727 benefits.
correct?
Yeah.
And when we had initially talked about doing this, we had talked about cutting back in other areas, and you were able to do that on your bottom line for the rest of the budget,
Yeah.
right?
In capital, we were 200,000 less than last year.
Okay,
So like last year, when they wanted to do this and proposed it to the last board, they wanted to use capital funds to do that, and you cannot do that.
right.
this year, if you're cutting your capital, that just means you cut your capital and you can't buy anything if you need to. It's capital expense.
I understand that, but also the employees need to be,
I certainly agree. I am not against this. I am against, I guess the only thing I'm really against is the increase in the budget. If it isn't, that's fine. But there's also a lot of other county employees that deserve the same thing and they're not getting it either. That's
Well,
where I'm coming from. And
absolutely,
the budget
absolutely.
manual-
And we fell behind for
Yep.
a few
everybody
years,
has.
a few
Yep.
years. And
Yep. I agree.
You know,
I totally agree with
so
you.
I'm just trying to bring my department up.
And that's basically that's all we can do.
Yeah.
And, that I just, it's unfortunate that it is where it is, because it's all of us, it's the
Yeah.
same thing, it's no different anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to see it all come up, but budget wise, do we have it or don't we, and that's for them to decide.
Yeah.
And how much they wanna raise, and can we raise in our levy to cover it, because we can only do so much, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's also the other thing, even in the budget manual that you guys were just reviewing, there's one item that it has to be quality for all employees, and this is not, and it hasn't been. With the sheriff's office and the road department, it's left a lot of other departments behind, like yourself. And that's what causes a lot of, issues in the
There's a
budget.
lot of inequity.
A lot of inequity, so I'm not opposed to it, don't get me wrong, I'm just pointing out the facts.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. So as far as cutting all the rest of the expenses, if we go down and we just kind of skip over the salary and benefits piece. I built it as 5%, I did not build it as, giving it, because I had been told to do that.
What?
So if we
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if we go down and look at all of our other benefits, and if you look at bottom line benefits, so last year for all of our, not benefits, our expenses, as a total, we budgeted 774,000. This year, we're budgeting 808,000 under my scenario. And that's with changes that I made above because of things that weren't matching up as far as where they are for the budget year. And then we have the capital, which last year our capital budget was 375, and this year it's 95. So yeah, there's big savings there, but historically we've been 280, 213, 375. How can you cut it all the way to 95 and still make it? That's not my fault. It's just
One reason is because we have moved on replacing a lot of our equipment. So a lot of our equipment is getting up to date. So that definitely helps us out a lot.
Okay. And that's good. But moving forward for salary and benefits, it's not a 1-year budget. It is a budget
Absolutely.
forever.
Absolutely.
So it's going to impact that bottom line for years to come. And next year, you're not gonna need any, the next year, you're not gonna need any, or how much. I guess that's what has to be looked at, and
Yeah.
I can't tell you what that is gonna be.
Can I ask, going through the, just
Go line by line.
line by line, I had a couple of questions, like what things are, like, right, the third line down in expenses is administration costs,
Right.
which is, and it looks like we haven't done any this year. What-
We
what-
never do that. That's in every budget you've looked at, and that is outside of current expense. And that's the cost for us to do all their payroll, their HR, all their billing invoices.
When do they know?
paying
My
bills.
question was, when will they know that amount?
That amount's already set, it's budgeted every year.
Yes.
So
We
I
will
will
just spend,
move that money in August usually. I'll move it and post it basically to all the departments so we can see exactly where we are.
that's the part I didn't understand. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just a journal entry to move it. That's all
Gotcha.
it is. It comes back to current expense under an administrative line.
Okay. Now, if you can figure out how to generate electricity off that new burner,
There's a way to do it, but it's expensive.
Use that, what do they call that? Bring the smoke in and they can burn it through
The heat anyway. Yep. Yep.
gasifiers.
I'm not sure what they call it, but it's like $1 million setup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Takes a while to pay back.
it absolutely does.
Everything, I'm just looking for big changes.
Fuel is,
Yeah.
fuel is fuel, it's in every budget that way. We did have the conversation about where you purchase your fuel. Are you getting it from the road department or not? It appears we're not, just because we know where we are, and other budgets that have been getting it through the road department haven't been billed, so we don't know where they are, but their fuel is cheaper and can save some money there, but
We only get gas from
no.
Public
diesel.
Works.
Okay.
The diesel is through BUS.
Yeah, we go through so much of it that we have to have our own tank.
Yeah, it comes
Basically.
in twice,
But you do have your own tank, so you're already
Yes.
saving money there.
just the diesel
So,
tank.
okay, so
And the
that's.
rest you're getting through Public Works.
Yeah, we just go
Okay,
and fill
so-
the company pickup up.
So you're already getting that savings
Yes.
there, so by raising it like we did, that's the appropriate thing to do.
So on electricity, you brought it down to 7,000. How much is that burner gonna really, is the burner gonna?
We actually worked that out. It's gonna be roughly 5,000 extra a year
Okay,
to run that thing.
okay. So you're
So
gonna
we
have
need to
enough
move
next year?
that line then,
I'm sorry.
we have to increase that one.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
more
think
than likely.
we forgot to add that. That was
Yeah.
the one thing we forgot to add in, because we weren't even close to getting the burner where it needed to be.
So we'll add 5,000, make it 12,000 then.
10,000 or? Okay.
Wait, where am I? Where's fuel?
Or
Yeah, cause
would
you
it
guys
be-
listed department requested was 10,000.
Or would it be 15,000?
Hmm,
It'd be 5 to the 7, wouldn't it?
I think, yeah,
The 7
more
was
in
my
the
estimate.
12,000, yeah.
7's what they did last year.
Yeah, because we requested 10, she dropped it to 7 again.
Just based on where you looked through the year when I did
Yeah.
it.
Copiers, so do you guys rent yours too? Your copiers rented?
We're still under these.
Okay, so yeah, our long-term goal is to go to purchasing,
Okay,
Yes, I did
not,
hear that.
not renew.
okay,
Well, we should be good for that.
yeah.
Okay. I see that, the clerk reduced the equipment maintenance and repair. I assume that's because they've only used 50%.
I didn't, yeah. And historically, we haven't been that, well, we did 6,000 one year, but we've also, like what you
We
said,
got rid of that.
gotten a lot of.
We got rid of that one.
Yeah.
So that helps, yeah.
Was our $11,000 check involved in this?
No, it wasn't. No,
we
because
have
I know I
spent
checked that
11,000.
before.
What is the, PhD staff contract?
Panhandle Health.
What are we contracting with them to do?
That one I'm not sure on.
Yeah.
I know
we
you have
pay
a
it.
contract with them. I thought it was for them to do inspections and different things for solid waste.
We've never seen them.
Well, I'd call them in. Cause that's historically been in there forever. And it's been
Yeah,
1,000 and they use it every year and they bill us. We could pull those up and see what that bill is.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do
And
that.
what line item was that?
That's down.
541, 40.
541.40.
Yeah, I just wondered why they were on there.
We can pull that as soon as we're done. I'll go and pull it, see what all's in there. I thought it was inspections that they have to do.
So they haven't been out there inspecting?
I've never seen them.
Yeah.
So if the director doesn't know about it, that's
I mean, I could be
concerning.
Yeah.
wrong, but I think that's what it was.
Well, it's,
I,
still a good question.
You guys don't have to have like, license and stuff through them, right? Do you have to have your license updated or anything through the Panhandle Health?
So we do have a license, but yeah, it's never,
$4,000 a year. No.
if it is, again, it's something that I don't know
Well,
about.
7,000 is what they charged us this year.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's right.
So that's a good question.
I do have a question for you though. on the phone part of it, are we paying two long distance bills? Are we paying one to Ziply and one to ALD?
No, ALD is Ziply, I believe, is your internet stuff. I don't know.
The internet,
I
okay.
can pull that up too.
Yeah, I just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I don't think the Ziply one is phone. That you have, oh yeah, you do. No,
Yeah,
you
we have-
Frontier. You have Frontier. Oh, yeah.
No, we have Ziply.
Ziply, that's it.
So I know whenever the Ziply
So-
bill comes in, it's usually, we usually have two
Cause
lines.
you have.
And most people only have one.
Right, we tried to convert you to MyTel and that didn't work because of where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, Ziply would be a regular telephone line service. And the ALD is a long distance service that, a lot of the departments have, and I don't know why they have that. If
'Cause
it's on a
when-
fax machine or something, you have a fax, that's
Mhm.
probably what it's for then.
So-
Cause that's not a MyTel line.
So Ziply doesn't cover fax and phone and long distance all in one?
And if they have, you'd have long distance provider outside of Ziply possibly.
Okay.
I don't know. Everybody has to choose who their carrier is. And I don't know that part of it anymore, so I couldn't tell you. But I know everybody that has fax machines and, just regular analog phones, not like the MyTel ones that we went with, they all have the ALD for their long distance carrier.
Is that something we can look into and just bundle it or
You
not?
could. Yeah, look and see what it's really, do you need it or you don't. I mean, I know you get a bill for it every month.
Yeah, it's really not a whole
I
lot,
don't
but
manage any of that.
it's just, it's always been there since I've been there,
Yeah,
so.
and it is all over wherever they've got phones that are not digital phones through MyTel,
Okay,
and they always have that.
okay.
Skipping down, I didn't have any questions till I hit, just wondering what it is, 678.1 solid waste collections. What are we paying for there?
That where, what do they call it, the guys that are down the Joe?
Yeah, that's gonna be, South Lake Services.
Yes.
The,
For their name.
yeah, they pick up our garbage down on the Joe essentially and bring it up to us.
Okay.
And then we pay them to do that.
Yeah.
That
And-
way, because we don't have a garbage service ourselves, so.
So you had requested an increase of 10,000, the clerk put it to down to 3,000. So what was the thinking on that?
That's through the contract.
1,000.
I'm just,
Collection.
solid waste, yeah, 678.1.
South Lake, they had a 5% increase, so 62,700 was their last year's.
Mm-hmm.
And I must have increased it 5% and came up with a different figure than they had. I
So,
came up with 58,433 and they came up with 65,900 and I don't have a calculator with me. Could you
Yeah,
do it
yours-
on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, 62. Okay, right,
Hold on, let me get there.
so it was 55,650. And on their sheet, it says it was 62,700. And it isn't. It was 55,650. 1.05 probably gives you
Yes.
58,435.
I wonder if I still had something on my calculator when I did it.
Maybe. That's just
What?
that's where I went from, because I checked what you asked for. And if it doesn't match what it was, I put what it really was, and that's why.
well, I vote for the clerk's number on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that was probably,
If I get anything else on there.
I was wondering what the discrepancy was, and that explains it.
So shouldn't the lease payments be an exact amount, or does that fluctuate with interest?
It does, because the latest thing you guys bought down there through First Interstate,
Our truck.
It's the exact amount of the lease payment plus interest when you make the payment. And they tell you how much it's gonna be, and that's the way the contract's written.
Okay,
It's the same thing for the, was it the sheriff? Who was it? Isn't that, you guys got something from First Tuesday and they did, right?
we got a truck, I know that.
Yeah. And they got a car too. And it's the same thing.
Okay.
You know what it is, it's $12,000, but then they add taxes and insurance on it to bump it up to 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
The payment.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What they have depreciation in there before?
I don't know,
Mhm.
because they shouldn't have, we handle all that through the, audit.
Okay.
And it's actual, it wasn't ever budgeted. Those three things we don't actually budget for.
Mhm.
So if we want to increase the pay to match the road department type pay scale to that pay scale, what do we need to do to put that into the final budget for consideration?
To approve it by the board. Has to go before our board and approve it.
When you do your budget, so right now, if you want to include it as the full amount, I will adjust this to do that based on the meeting today. And you guys will get this by Monday, Tuesday, and then you have 4 days, and when you say run it like that, that's what I will publish in the paper. Then you will need to, when we go through our levy piece and see if we can levy that much to cover it, because that's what it will do. If we have enough levy to cover it, then that's what it will be. We approve it in September. And if we don't have enough levy room to levy for that, then you have to cut it. Can't do it.
That they dropped their capital, so we wouldn't have to levy.
That's
for
what I
that,
mean.
right?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. You still have to levy. Every year you have to
Right, but-
levy.
Mhm.
So is it gonna affect your levy rate? I don't know that yet. I have no idea till I get done.
Right.
And just because you dropped your capital, did you drop it enough? And you're gonna be dealing with that, so you at, no, I didn't have it because I didn't have it updated. I didn't pick that number. I picked the 5%. So I'll have to go up and run it and see what they come out with, but would be, based on the other worksheet that I had. This one, so it would raise to requested salary 475.20. So that 409 would be 475.20. And benefits, I didn't. I did too. And finance, 26. I have it, but I didn't continue. Yep, solid waste requested, so. Our benefit. Just benefit should be 442, 482, no, that's not right. 475.20. That's just that one. Okay, so I would ask you, let's see, I could probably tell you that. Payment, he's gonna go to 52, or 32, 30, 35, 95. Medical stays the same. And do to stay the same. Workers' comp. 4. That stayed the same. So, I'll borrow your calculator real quick. And up. Tell you what the bottom line would be with all of it.
If I can get into my phone.
Thanks. I don't bring my phone in. Obvious reason. So. Mhm. One six, 4 6, 891.
Their last year's budget was is that correct? Their last year's budget total was 1,779,887. So actually their budget's down this year, is that?
And that's how I read it.
Which is what I
Thank you.
kind of think we'd asked to try and do.
Mhm.
So appreciate you guys following through with that. All right, so this is a workshop, so we can't take any voted
I'll take
action.
any action. You just tell me what you want me to do as far as figuring out for you guys to approve.
Okay, well, I'm in favor of putting them on the same scale as the road.
Yeah, I guess we can do put that on the calendar and
Vote on it.
vote on it.
I think if we ask Tammy to do it now, so she could
That's fine.
do the unofficial, it's nothing, nothing's approved yet, but
Yeah.
we're on the next step.
That works for us.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, I'll do that thing. Get it updated.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other questions from commissioners? Public comments or questions?
Leases, their equipment leases, when they paid some off.
And is the cat still on lease?
The cat and the Freightliner, Ernie Freightliner, yes.
So it's not showing anything to spend on that line item.
They haven't had lease payment due yet. They're in August.
Cat has,
Yeah, the cat, I just turned in a cat payment.
cat has been leased for about 3 years, 2 or 3.
Yeah, but the payments are only made once a year.
Right, but that, you still go back and there's no lease payment made out of that line.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you have a copy of your lease schedule?
It's, just turn it in. Yeah, it's due. Just turned it in like 2 weeks ago, I think.
So it probably hasn't hit there. When did I run that thing? Would be the day it hasn't hit, the payment hasn't hit the one day.
Probably not.
The cat would have been last year, not the year before. They're still missing out of those 2 years.
Let me see.
So, no, the cats,
No, the previous one.
that one was leased
Oh,
also.
that one was a 20.
So this, back here in 21, that would have been for our previous cat, the 430 that we ended up trading in on our new one. And then,
Right, it's just Richard, there's nothing spent on.
yeah, no, I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm just, I honestly, I'm not sure why that doesn't show. I know when we did, so was it last year or the year before, that we had an issue with Cat Financial? They actually cashed our check, but did not credit our account.
No, it went to the actual cat. And they cashed the check and it was supposed to go to Cat Financial.
That's what it was, okay.
So we
So
had
I
to get that
know-
all figured out.
Yeah, I know that there was a big, was that last year or the year
It was
before?
last year.
Was last year, and that may be the reason for that. I'm not
They
sure.
paid, they probably paid you guys a refund and then you had to pay it back to
Yes.
the other place. So.
But
it's
it still would have hit there as the line item and then been reimbursed. So I'll have to look and see where it went. Cause we just had another one this year where they lost the check.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just know that it got sent to the wrong, it didn't get sent to Cat Financial, it got sent to actual Caterpillar itself.
Right.
And they just cashed the check in our department, under our account. And then I think it was you said, what's going on? And then we had to do some digging and figure that out, so.
So I don't know why they're not posted to these payments. I'll have to look and see where they're posted on.
Any other questions?
Hopefully I don't get tarred and feathered, but you guys have been the last ones to get the pay raises. In fact, looking at the numbers compared to the roads department, some of them are even light on what you're asking for. Just to give you, I do believe in it, to make
Yeah.
it even with fair with you guys.
yeah,
And I don't know why it ever happened like that. They always talked about it, but never did anything.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, if you wouldn't mind following up with that Panhandle Health District, just to see
I'll
what
go pull the transaction detail and get it to them to see what's going on with
they're
it.
doing there. That'd be nice to, if we're getting inspected and we don't know it.
Yeah, it would be nice to know about.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
not getting.
Any other comments from the clerk? Any other comments or questions from you guys? They did? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.